is like cool ass. Woo! Okay. It's unbelievable. The spaceship in the back. Some games. Sucked up there. Look at that. Look at that. Oh. It's like the opposite of a flu. Exactly. You just try that. Probably a way of doing the reflection thing, but maybe not.
It might be a way. Usually it's a way of rotating the image. You have it mirror in.
Exactly. I can't see it. It's not obvious. It's not an obvious button. Ladies and gentlemen, send feedback. But anyway, very interesting. But what we could do is we could switch that off and find out if it's brighter. Oh, nice, Jim. I've got it.
It's always the royal way. The royal way means, can I do it?
Ooh. Switch off the back one as well, the top one, please.
You don't need to be polite just because you're
please. No, it's beside it's the power switches.
Oh, it is, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it gets brighter. That's amazing. Wow. Yeah. Although it does look a bit like bare kitchens, isn't it? Yeah, put the cooker on. Let's see.
On top it looks.
I can't tell you.
No, I don't think the cooker's good. I think the light, this light's okay. Oh no.
Yeah, it's the warm one. It's the orange one. We need the orange one. Sorry, it's the one at the top. It kind of creates a little bit more of a kind of.
Where's off the cover then?
I know, but I can't tell. Fascinating for people, though, yeah. Oh, fantastic. I look like an old person, Julie. Don't I?
Yes, you do.
I'm not even. I'm still pepper, black pepper, a little bit pepper. But usually, you don't look like an old person.
I look like I've been skiing, going skiing.
Wow.
That's how cold it is.
Cold. Yeah. Okay, so day 23. Well, we've only been here for what, 2 days?
This is our second day.
Second day properly in beautiful Croatia.
It is beautiful. Very flat around where we are. Lots of olives.
A few olives, a few trees with olives, yes.
Lots of trees.
Went for a walk yesterday, which was very nice. Right, what is this one today about? We could talk a little bit about Croatia, but basically, remember, this is not for us to do a presentation. This is for us to recap what we're doing. You said, oh, we'll do recordings. Yes, let's do it right. Let's not just repeat the stuff that we've done today. We call it the temporal thing, based on threes. Fractal, morning, afternoon, evening. Day 1, day 2, day 3. First block, second block, third, 10. First 10, second 10, third 10. That's a month. First month, second, third month. That's first season, second, third this year. Fractally, beautiful. That was it. That's that summary.
It's a little bit rapid, isn't it? Rapido. For people, but the idea is having a certain period of time, and then it was thinking about cycles. You said.
So they're like cycles. So if the basic note, I've changed it by the way. It's not what it was. It's now. So the notes, tones that you came up with. So I think it's grounded in the second, and then it goes off. Yeah.
Interesting.
So explorative, and then ground, and then woo. Makes sense, yeah.
Why did you change it?
For that reason.
What reason? So it's like a launch.
Yeah.
The last one's like a launch pad.
Yeah, and it's going up. So it's
not because that's the grounded one originally, wasn't
it? It was
No, was the grounded part.
Yeah, but I knew that the second one was actually an iteration of the first. So if we do it grounded, and then we do so the first one is experimental, and the second one is okay, what does this mean? We have to consolidate it. What's thing? Here, what's the output?
Mm-hmm.
And then third is, wow, what's next? Yeah, woo, let's give it a go. Anyway, and so those three, that's your single kind of like nodes, whatever. It's periodicity of three. But we're not going to go to it. The point is, there is a structure which we will play around with.
Yes, I was going to say experiment.
Yeah, we're not going to get like locked into it.
Although you did try and lock me into it earlier on.
I didn't try to lock you into anything, Julie. I'm constantly trying to find bloody keys to unlock you. Oh, but you got the locks, huh? She got the locks and the keys.
You did it in jest, you didn't mean to.
That's you. Right, okay. Getting used to a new place, different noises. And any kind of noise here is like.
It's very.
There's not even a sound.
I didn't think you could get quiet in my house, but you can get quiet in my house.
Oh, yeah. Your central heating is an absolute bomb. Yeah.
And
Literally makes me
ooh, staircase.
Oh, the staircase.
Your face.
Not only is it creaks, but it's if you step
On them.
indelicately.
Indelicately. You just step on them.
It's not
No
only
matter
creak.
how delicate you
No,
are.
but there's a nice way of walking, and then there's a kind of like a heavy way.
You just showed me one way once. In all the 6 months, you showed me the fact if you kind of pin yourself against a wall,
Yeah.
or like you tiptoe, really on the tips of your toes.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
that.
All
And
the
it might not creak as much as it still creak.
Oh no, what is the creak? But the other one is the thud. If somebody puts their weight, somebody puts their weight like this, your heel, all right, onto it, it goes like that. If you do this,
It's softer, the
you
cushion.
can't hear it.
The
I'm
cushion.
applying the same amount of force. And it's, yes,
The cushion, you mean, of your foot.
yes, your foot and all the the tendons.
That's what dancers
Whereas
do.
this,
That's what dancers do, don't they? Ballroom dancers, you're on
Yes.
their toes, ballet
Yeah.
dancers.
and if you walk up and down on the balls of your feet,
Ballroom dancer. If you just said that to me 5 minutes ago, Julie, walk up and down the stairs like a ballroom dancer. Made all the difference.
so when I said, could you try?
I think it's when he said, it's like having an elephant in the house. That was the way you put it, that went, oh, really? Well.
No stairs in this place. So, not a problem. Not a problem.
Actually, there's stairs outside.
You can
Outdoor
practice.
stairs.
Practice, Julie.
No, but outdoor stairs are amazing, aren't they? Because you don't hear anything because the sound goes out.
Well, yeah, but they're solid. It's concrete as well.
There's no reverberation.
Yeah.
They give.
Anyway, so it's very quiet. Anyway,
And then any sound you hear. So yesterday there was a sound. You thought the knocking, which wasn't. And there was a sound that was knocking, that was a knocking sound.
it was a person.
It was
It was Marie.
Mara.
Mara. Marie. Anyway, the point is, this is not one of your, podcasts. Okay, this is David's day 23. Year everything changed. No, the year everything changed.
Ah,
Know that.
yes.
Um,
Excluded that.
Now the problem is that day 23. Now, if we were kind of like looking at this, going, all right, so what's the change? Well, we changed the country, but the country itself hasn't changed. Okay, so we're not going to see country change this year. We're not going to see that level of scale of change, country change. It's just not going to happen.
And this was one of the insights we had on the journey, wasn't it? Seeing so many factories and seeing so many cars commuting.
Yeah.
Milan in particular was.
Oh no, the entire road. As soon as we got before to Milan, from Turin to Milan to all the way along from Milan, it's just this one long factory industrial business park thing.
Both sides.
Both sides for 200 miles.
Company
No.
after company after company.
2 miles. No.
Company after company after.
Factory, big factory, building-y. It's like
Offices.
Wow. Offices. Just honestly, I have not seen anything like that. It's
We
like
were raised above as well, slightly. I like that.
Between Birmingham and London, it was just one big road with lots, all the factories, just everything, just all.
That's what it was like.
That's what it was like. Incredible, incredible. So,
So that brought it home. Wow.
yes, it did.
Partly brought it home, didn't it? The
Yeah.
scale of, for me, definitely. It's like, oh my goodness, this is just part of one country.
There's no way we can change that. And you really have to accept the skill of it, so that the individual, you're not confused. Okay, as an individual, get overwhelmed and just go, well, it's just the way it is. Don't even take it on. You don't get overwhelmed with it. You just go, well, yeah, that's happening. And whatever change that you think that you're taking part in has got nothing to do with that, apparently.
Why apparently?
Because if you think it's associated with something with organizations and trying to change organizations,
you feel the pressure of that?
you will start feeling the pressure.
Insurmountability.
You will, then you're going to have to face the overwhelmingness. Whereas if you're changing the underlying principles, so all of that is a symptom. You're not trying to change the symptoms. If you're changing the cause, which is basically the money, so instead of exchange, and all of that road and everything in the world, and all the ports and everything, and all the industries, all on the operating system of money as a form of exchange. Change that. That means everything above it has a potential for change. It does. You know. And so.
So in other words, you change one fundamental principle, that unites everything together, and everything else changes.
Everything above it. So the basic operating system is exchange. All the organizations use it, all the people, everything. Whereas if you change that so that you give something, okay, so here's the product, this factory, here's the product, here's the money. Okay. Now that it's incalculable, which is good, how that can actually change everything. All right. And so that's what I'm happy about what I do, because I'm not operating at the level of complicatedness that's operating. I'm operating at the level below that, which is fundamental practices and altering those. Coming up with the alteration is just like, mind blowing itself. But it just means that as a normal human being, we are free from the weight, the absolute momentous weight of this happening every day. All these people going to all this work, all along that stretch. Millions of people working.
I was also thinking about the idea that in terms of the whole concept of showing it forwards, there's more of how to say it, the relationality, but also there's more of a sentiment behind it, isn't there? You know how you said to me, well, you like selling cars, you like, doing because you don't do it at all. You don't like it, you appreciate it. So it's not like that, but there is that idea of giving is an act of something, an expression of something, isn't it? And thinking about the person, an expression of something, I think. It's what you call those things, I think.
Okay.
So if I buy something at a shop like we're going to do tomorrow, and we go to the supermarket and we buy something,
Sorry. No, I know. I'm listening. I'm just going to do that. Why? Because Apple advertising Apple. Why? Because Apple's going to be investing in us at some point. Why? Because we're changing how we're interacting with
the Apple computer.
Yeah, this is the first time I've thought about it. So
thank you. Yes, I knew that would happen. You just go and forget what I was saying. There you go. So,
technically, no, it's Quality, Apple, and Android. Yep. Those are our sponsors for today, or they will be at some point in the future. But at the time that you're watching it, at some point in the future, maybe 10 years, will be funded by these organizations that are dissolving, by the way.
You quite finished?
No.
No, you haven't. Should never ask you that. Never. I'm giving that opportunity.
Okay.
Oh, yes. So tomorrow when we go to the supermarket, the idea is it's a necessity, isn't it? Need, demand and a need in effect.
That's good. Yes.
Whereas with sharing, it's about thinking of somebody and it's about giving to somebody.
Yeah.
So that's a very different dynamic.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, yesterday, in fact, I was thinking, how can that, I know you have this thing about putting things into words, and I do it in a different way. You think things are too wordy in words.
Yeah, too
trapped
soft,
in
jazz,
words and all
yabbing
this.
away. Forget about the actual mechanic.
Whereas I think, mechanic, action. I think actions speak. They speak out words.
I know.
But it's how do you describe it to other people? It's how, in what we've done so far, like last year, when we get to that point and explain to someone, how could we describe it in a way that shows its relationality without saying, oh, this is about relationships?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was good. So it's the minimal method for that. And what we're saying is, let's write a short story. And the short story has a story and it's maybe got a bit of sharing involved in it.
Oh, and that could illustrate those qualities and values.
Yeah, so that's what players is. It's about the game scale, but it's about who's invited to scale to play the game. And it's an invitational protocol that is executed by Scale the app. And so somebody reading it will be reading the story, and it's been shared with through Scale. So the whole thing. It should be that whenever we share anything with somebody, the content has already been wrapped up in the sharing of the money. The trouble is, people haven't spotted it, the value of that. So that's why we have to create some content that somehow or other indicates, reflects what's happening. Potentially. That's a fun thing, just fun. But if you can come up with better descriptors, more minimally, great. Right, this idea interceded. You see, I've always thought, way back then, when computers were boxes, basically, and Apple Macintosh was about, and then the internet, so the end of the 90s, and then the internet kind of like started to mushroom. I always thought the computers would be in every living room, or in fact in a dinner table. I thought, why?
We had a discussion about this yesterday, didn't we?
Okay.
Whether it was appropriate to
put a
computer on a dining table.
Yeah.
I was in the no camp. No. Saying Croatia.
I have to take it to another country to escape from that reality. She's come over. You are very good. You're very positive.
Are you in the Dar camp? Yes.
Oh, damn. Yeah, damn.
And then I visited your camp in Dar, and actually, it has been a good experience.
It has.
Worked really well.
It's got a bit of music, you put a bit of music on. We haven't used it much for doing internet stuff. I worked. Slide over workspace. You put it on earlier today. But this is the part where people are actually like at a dinner table. What I found with conversations when I was in my 20s is that they were curtailed by the fact that people didn't know stuff. So somebody would say this about something in the world, and somebody else would say, no, it's not that, it's this. Say something else.
Just as in opinions, an exchange of opinions.
All right.
Okay.
But it's not just opinions, it's about what's actually true.
To them.
No, in the world.
Okay, so back to the facts. Statistics?
Yeah.
Evidence.
The number of people in Croatia. How many people in Croatia? Oh, there's 5 million. No, there's 50 million. Oh, well, I think because there are 50 million people in Croatia, it needs blah, 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 blah. No. It's just 5 million. No, it's 50.
Okay, so it's like table tennis.
Yes.
In fact, it just goes back.
Backwards and forwards. No, it's the assumptions. So there are so many of our reasoning. So much of our reasoning is based on certain facts, not assumptions, facts. And we build these quite complex relational understandings of the world. So when you have a conversation with somebody, it's a massively complex.
It's quite notional, isn't it? How we build them. We just take one little thing and then we somehow leap with that.
We do. I do. For sure. But I purposely do that quite well. But what most people are doing,
People in general.
I'm going to get here eventually. All right. When you have two people having a conversation back then, and there were too many kind of like points of reference that you had to check. Okay, there were too many. There were too many.
Okay.
Good. Right. Okay. Good. I'm going to get this out here eventually. Okay. And so in my 20s, and
How old are you again?
my 20s. Thank you very much. Just in case you
Long.
hear. I didn't give myself.
Is that 30 years ago? Over
30 years ago.
Over 30 years.
No, just about 30, from 25 to 30 years ago. And so the problem was that you counted one and then you counted another. And because couldn't be bothered going to the encyclopedia or something, it just meant that people just carried on. So you could never confront.
Oh, I should have had my mum. She was always saying, pairs encyclopedia.
Yeah.
She was going, oh, go. It's like we've got them.
Yeah,
Look at them.
Yeah, exactly.
If
You
she
just
got
can't
the
bother.
Britannica, can you imagine? And they're all day.
So
It's true.
I know, but I'm just going to get here. We're going to get here. Okay. And so what's happening is that I said that we're going to have one of these things. And basically, whenever you're kind of having a conversation with yourself, you just go, oh, okay, let's check. And while the person, conversation with 4 or 5 people, somebody's just checking something.
Like we say today, Google it.
Yeah, Google. Okay. So somebody Googles it. And I've seen it on chat shows now, like Rogan, whatever his name is.
Hi, Rogan, Josh.
Josh.
The Asian guy? English Asian guy? Glasses? No. Okay, it's not him then.
No. It's Joe Rogan. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Quite famous. And anyways, I think he says something like that, and somebody else is checking it, and they look at the screen and checks that. I was like, yeah.
Oh,
like
wow. I haven't seen that at all.
It's obvious. And so that's what I wanted. And I wanted.
It's a bit laborious. It takes time to do that. You have to find it and then look at
That's
it.
why if there's multiple people, if it's just 2, it's a bit laborious. But if somebody else can just check, so they continue
Oh,
talking.
so they're like the researcher.
They're researching.
Oh,
But
my God.
because our roles are shifting all the time in a normal conversation,
Mm-hmm.
that means different people have different kind of like positional roles. Well, that's what I found when I was a kid. And so I was always like either joining one interlocutor or the other. I could have easily, if I was growing up with this, I'd be like, does that help? And they'd be going, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, look, as I said.
I can't imagine you having any other role but the talker.
Anyway, so it's taken me many, many years because to actually have one literally on the table,
Yes.
it's just such a rare event. It's just so socially awkward to do so. I've said when I introduced it, I've never seen anybody do that. And so, anyway, but here it is.
It was quite nice when you had guests and it was with music, but you did a little bit looking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Turning it around and then they were looking and they were like a video.
Yeah, it's nice.
It was nice. It worked very well. It was an ease of fluidity, a kind of.
And it's a social object,
Yeah.
as opposed to this, which is a personal object.
Just because of the size. It's the same thing. Well, very similar.
Yeah, but this you kind of look at it and then I have to show you, and then you have to pass it over and all this kind of
What
stuff.
you had a dual screen? You had a screen on the front and a screen on the back. And you could then, it was designed so you had a screen on the back and you pressed a button, you could share screen. Just imagine you could share a screen with me now and I could see that screen.
Yeah, that's not bad. There are phones that have got it, but usually both screens are facing inwards and then pushing out. You've seen that flipper, but no, it's not flipper, it's something else. But that costs like double the phone. It's like £1,500. You flip it over, so it's like a laptop.
Yeah, but it doesn't split to the screen. The screen just grows bigger.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. All right.
Amazing.
Amazing, but very limited use case. Okay. The other one, but that's fine. It's good. You came up with an idea. It's good. It's great. Okay, somebody will listen to that. If you think you're going to make millions out of it, Samsung, oh, look, buy Wendy. Wendy's. It's Julie.
And unbelievable.
Wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen. Watch. Eruption. Pressure.
Just never.
It's
Just
like a
never.
big
When
shout.
I say.
So that was Julie's idea. Okay. She'll be quiet for a while. Okay, so but it's going to come out. It's kind of high pressure hisses and little bits of magma. It's going to rain down on our heads very soon. All right.
Let's just say I'm not surprised. That's all right.
I think that's the first time I made that kind of boob. All right. Anyway, but that is a social object. The point is, you kind of have to, you can move it around side to side. Basically, we're looking at the same thing.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, like a television. Yeah. Like a television. You said Steve or something. Anyway, so it's a social object.
It is.
Right.
I think that can be made into a social object. So I think it's a portable social object. We're missing a trick by not making it more social.
Okay, you made the point. Okay, having a screen to the side. Okay, thank you, Wendy.
That's okay, Kevin.
Okay, now the idea about this one was quite simple. Is that, and I had this idea, before, is that, and I call it macro patronage. And the idea is you do, my name is David Pinto dot Apple. And I changed my name to Pinto dot Apple.
By default.
Yeah.
Okay. You're allowed to do that? I suppose you do Apple with small a.
Well, no, because Apple are funding me.
Okay.
Because I'm a social artist. And I thought it was the way that you fund social artists.
Mm-hmm.
It means that a social artist does whatever it is that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because social art is very different from any kind of physical art.
Mm-hmm.
And so when any third party writes about what Julie Jackson
Oh my gosh, well done.
dot Samsung does, it means that whenever you produce anything like in education, you say, all right, okay, this event and it was orchestrated, ran by, or you talked, whatever, and it was Julie Jackson dot Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it means that you don't actually have to advertise anything.
Mm-hmm.
All you're simply doing is you produce your social art, and anybody reporting
It's like a
it-
tag.
It's a tag. That's what it is. It's a tag. But it means that anybody reporting in third party media are basically advertising Samsung. Okay. Now, so therefore, it's tying the social artistry of the individual
But inherently, that means it has to be of a certain quality for them to be associated with it.
both ways.
Both ways, yeah.
Okay, and that's where the power play was. You see, and so I thought that would be an interesting thing because there'll be some social artists that are more like more like Nike as opposed to Reebok as opposed to Adidas. Okay? And they've got different kind of flavors in what they do, and they're picking. Nike's trying to pick the right person for them, but the whole point about social art, is producing something where a bunch of people are the art. We are the art. Yeah. And so it's not about objects, but us. And so it's participatory. And therefore, that's the thing that's primary first. So therefore, you do want to be bought off by a company, you see, which is what happens to quite a lot of people. Okay, so it's really the direct competition.
That's quite a big difference there, isn't it? Because most people are. If you are sponsored,
Yes.
you are in some way bought by that company.
Yes.
Beholden to them. So
And then you have to perform this.
how would you set up that? How would you imagine setting up that relationship?
Well, if you manage to produce, so for example, if you're producing MP3 tracks or MP3 experiences where, 1 million people are gathering, okay, and doing some experience with MP3 files and listening to something and doing something collectively, there's 1 million people. And then it's like loads of cameras and everybody's watching this thing and it's like, oh, this was organized by Julie Jackson. Samsung, okay? It means that that's how you got the contract. Because people go, oh wow, you're getting in front of the right people for us, our demographic, fantastic. And the thing is, you have to carry that. You have to carry that relationship between the individual who's doing something with a bunch of individuals and the corporation, which is a bunch of individuals. And so I created this thing called macro patronage. And
So macro patronage is basically sharing art for the sake of art's sake. In effect.
No, you're creating social art. Getting the best people to do something.
Creating social art.
Yeah.
With a lot of people.
Generally.
A lot of people.
Or certain amounts, or certain types, or certain people
mean,
interested in certain things. Games, board games. You know, you've got to follow the people board games, right? You're a social artist. So
I would imagine there'd have to be a certain number, a certain momentum, because otherwise, why would the companies be interested?
Yes, it has to be a certain number, but you know, if you've got Ferraris, it's not that many you need. You just need the right people to buy your Ferraris.
Oh, that's different to Samsung.
Yes, exactly. It's Samsung, yeah. Down to that. That's somebody else's. I don't even know what's a luxury computer. I don't even know what a luxury computer is, apart from Apple. Anyway, the point is, what I'm trying to say is that it's the relationship between the individual who's doing something with a bunch of people doing something fun, interesting, engaging.
Oh, individual, relational, social.
Yes. As opposed to this corporation that's producing some stuff and trying to sell it. And it's putting the juxtaposition between the two. Okay. The artist, and I thought the evolution of it was, it looks like just a normal form of sponsorship, in the same way that companies start to sponsor sports people. You know, they start to sell labels and have their brands on their heads, you know, on their hats.
On their heads, that's interesting.
You know, something about photocopying, Xerox or something or other, is on a sports car. Why? Okay, and it's just to get in front of people because there's cameras on it. There is Xerox somehow goes into people's heads, and therefore the word Xerox is somewhere. And then when somebody comes along and says, "Do you want to get a Xerox or a?" Then you go for it. Well, Xerox. Wait a minute. Yeah, what's that one?
I fleetingly thought about it for our journey. Our cards being blazoned.
Oh.
Saga UK. Example.
Well, yeah, go for it. So anyway, so the point was you have a name. I thought it was very interesting to read the name. Okay, so you got the name of a company and you got the name of a person. Okay, and I just thought that's very interesting, considering all the stuff I've come up with since then. Like, wow, that's a really interesting relationship. And I thought, even originally, that it's the social thing that has potentially more power than the corporation. Okay, you know, Brad Pitt, okay, by himself, or you know, who's the one that's been successful?
Swift.
Okay, let's go for an artist like that. She's more powerful.
Yeah.
She's more powerful than.
It's not called that. No.
Than I was about to say some Japanese company, but they're all old. Okay, Sony. Yes.
Oh, Sony.
So Sony.
Who do very good.
Swift.
Can I just point out, do very good.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. And get a little evidence from them, right? And the point is, this juxtaposition is the artist being bought by a company, or is the artist producing something interesting enough that can actually start to transform the company?
Well, you were talking about culture shifts. Who was it we watched the other day? Artists. You sent me that link to an artist and that culture shift and how it could have influenced other people. Is that what you're talking about? Connecting it to that?
Maybe if I knew you're referring to my memory, which is always not great at bringing like that. So you've got to, especially if you're other people, you might want to actually describe it.
You said you sent me a link to a singer
who
was very different to Taylor Swift.
Oh, so we put that on there. Oh no, we don't want to go for that. We talked about it badly, I think, incorrectly.
Oh,
yes, we did. Well, we took something a little bit more extreme.
The meaning of the lyrics.
Lucy Dacus.
I was just illustrating the point of culture shift, if that's what you were meaning. Within this, it leads to a culture shift. Social art leads to a culture shift.
That's what it is, potentially.
Ooh. Just saw 100 images of it.
Yeah. Ankles. So, then there are lots. You see, like, so you've got the YouTube, and you've got all these different people reporting about them, yeah? As we are doing now. How are they generating revenue? See, it's things like this. So the Rolling Stone is, Okay, there you go. Right.
Well, Rolling Stone's a magazine about music.
That's right.
Well, it's been around for
How do these people make money? I'm just looking at this. Are they going to ask me for any money? I can't see
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Accept. Lucy turns them to make sure to
Advertising, but again,
live
pop-ups.
video.
Pop-ups, advertising.
Yeah. So they're having to sell themselves. Is that X? So they have to have, look at that. Look at that. Look, this is Rolling Stone. Look at that. Look. Furniture. I don't even have an interest in furniture. Why is it showing me furniture? I have no idea. None. But it's not just all, that's our current world situation. Do you think it's completely bonkers?
It is. I mean, I'm a person that doesn't like adverts anyway. I never use adverts, so they don't have a deep effect on me.
No, but even if it was welcome, if it was appropriate, it's just like Rolling Stone, me, all right, describe to you this thing. Oh, look at this. Ah, there's furniture. You know, Rolling Stone, us.
Very fit woman in workout, very Adidas.
She does, yeah, it's a bit higher than her picture that she's got for her album. Will we have that? Oh, look at that, adverts. Oh, yeah, can we another?
That's for the actual users.
Was that it? That was it.
Sponsor stories.
That was it. That was it. It's very short. I just want, here we go. It's got feed at the bottom, so does that mean? Right, I don't even know. Do we have to? No.
That's just a faint.
Dreadful. Hide. Does that mean hide? No. Okay, stop sharing. Let me do that. Pop. Well, but I'm not in stream. How do we stop the sharing? That one.
The big box with the cross on it. So
I didn't
it's
Okay, right. So the point is that I was wondering.
culture shifts.
Culture shift. How do we do that? I've been interested. How do we do?
We
all
shared
these things?
something we haven't really explained the culture shift it was alluding to. But anyway, explore it for yourself and see what you think and let us know.
Oh yeah. Listen, your podcast when it gets up live sometime. That'll be that. And the idea was finally arriving here about 20 minutes after I came up with it, is that you don't actually have to wait until you have the contract. You can just start doing it.
Right.
Okay, until you have enough attention. And then people go, oh, you're here. You're doing this thing with 100 million. We want a contract. Then they dictate the rules of engagement. And we're saying, no, we're happy to do what we're doing. Thank you very much. Oh, we can't use that. Okay. That's not a problem. You want to sue us.
I was going to say they want to sue.
But you're not going to get sued. Wait, is that going to attract more attention? Okay, does that mean, okay, especially if we made money from their game. We aren't making money by their association, are we? Are we people have found like David Pinto on Apple's, oh, they're sponsored by Apple. I don't think so. You know, I'm going to watch F1 because they're sponsored by Xerox. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. If I did something that was like really horrible and really terrible to look, because you stop doing it because you're really horrible and giving Apple bad press, that's reasonable. That I can understand.
Isn't there legalese where people by association become?
Yeah, that's right. So there's quite a few things in there, but I thought, why wait? Just do it. Okay, and that's what we're doing.
Such is your nature.
We're doing with.
Such is your.
No, that's what YouTube did. People just uploaded a track of music from somewhere, like that there, and it was in a punter, and they just uploaded it, and YouTube did nothing. They tell you if this should be yours. Make sure this is yours.
Ownership.
Ownership, it's yours.
Yeah.
They can't check. Millions of these things, they can't check until they start developing software that could check. Okay, and then they would like have audio checks of this feed and go, oh, it's recognizable. And then all it has to be done automatically.
Mm.
Right. But at the beginning, no. And even now, I see, music. You listen to music put up by somebody or other, advertises of gentle music using whoever's artist, and you have absolutely no idea what the money is, where it's going, or anything. No. And I'm suggesting that we need to be a little bit more courageous with social art.
You are. I was about to say that. You're inviting everybody to be a little bit more courageous.
Yeah, and if we said, look, and that's what we do with scale.
So to be more courageous with social art in order to
get what sports have done. Sports have been able to get advertising money, basically, to be able to basically professionalize sport. So we need to professionalize social art.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And you can imagine like teachers in schools being sponsored by Red Bull. I mean, I would love to be Red Bull. They've been top Red Bull. Yeah. Why? Because Red Bull are like, wow, here we go, let's go for the edge. Extreme. And I would do extreme maths. I'd be like, David Bernard, Red Bull, maths teacher, extreme maths, here we go. And the kids would go, wow, what's the
You are very excited about that.
I get excited. Yeah. And you could do something that is more indicative of your style and so on and so forth. The point is, it allows companies to fund and be associated with creatives that are doing something socially. And if you think about it as advertising, that's one way to think about it. The other way is kind of leveraging something.
Facilitating?
Reverse
galvanizing?
Well, when there's funds, so there's some money coming to the person. So basically, you as a teacher goes, well, whatever you want me to do school, I'm here to do this. And so we're getting companies picking a bit of money to fund individuals that are doing something interesting with a bunch of kids. Okay, and so it's giving power to the individual. And therefore, if the teacher's got a bit more power, they can start to determine who they go, where they go, because they've got money. They're not being beholden to the school. So it frees people from the shackles of employment. It's associating a different kind of association of financial flow. Okay, but then, because it's social art, you start to kind of like start to turn it around and start going, okay, who are people funding me? They're inviting me to do what? And if we're into they're not funding in sponsorship, but they're funding in terms of scale, in terms of we would like you to do what you do socially in front of a bunch of kids. Why? Because what you're doing is amazing. Okay, and the kids have got adolescents that they are going to come to our company because we know what you're doing is good. Yeah, you're influencing kids in a good way. Yeah. So Apple's, we want your engineers. People that taught you maths by you, they're gonna come out with maths and they're gonna be creative. We love that.
Definitely.
And so it just started opening up things. So the whole notion of, and back then it was sponsored, so I call it macro patronage. But actually, with vector money, it's the whole relationship's different. So it looks like from their side sponsorship. But now that I know what scale is and how that works, it starts doing something a bit funny about how money's moving, and maybe money goes to the kids and stuff, and some interesting things start to happen.
You look a little bit like a magician when you're doing that. Something it's got very distracted by your palms and all that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, other people don't see it; they just think I've just got some not like a magician's outfit. So sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was it. That was it. I was just wanting to say something about it. That was another idea. Second idea. One, this here. You can check like we just did. And the second thing is just product placement and be more adventurous in tackling these large organizations.
In a new and innovative way.
Because obviously nobody's watching this at the stage when we're recording this like live. I don't even know how to tell. All right. But I think somebody pop up with some live chat or something or other. Oh no, 00. Those are the numbers at the top there. 00. And anybody watching like in 10 years' time, you look back and go, wow, it's absolutely back. But they're the millionth person watching this, and they're like, wow. And we just gone Apple. And so therefore we have been sharing promoting a company before we're successful. You see,
You have a whole line of thought, don't you, about success and before you're successful and when you're successful.
yeah, because after you're successful, it's boring as death.
Because people have luxuriated success.
Yeah.
People
There's
become
pathology of success. So it's disorder of success. It's crazy.
become lazy, do they? Disinterested,
They get corrupted,
comfortable,
get lazy, produce stuff, deliver what people expect of them. They get trapped, and then they get isolated, and then they get have to reproduce things, and then they get confused with what they're trying to do. So many disorders. And then they meet people. They don't know if it's because they're successful or it's because there's a genuine connection. People get full of themselves. As an author, or there's somebody who hasn't written a book, or you're nobody to be sort of forever to try and get publishing deals. So quite frankly, I can't talk to you. I've got to talk to other authors so that I can maintain myself and social standing. The whole.
What's happened to J.K. Rowling? Because when she was starting to be, she was just starting to become known. You saw her on lots of shows, and you saw her she seemed to be quite around a lot. And then when she became successful, she just disappeared, didn't she?
I don't know.
So that's the case in point, potentially.
Well, I didn't really spot that, but I did notice at some point around there was a big brouhaha regarding identity in women.
Right.
Remember that?
No.
Oh, there's a big brouhaha. She said something to protect women, basically, as opposed to transgender people.
Oh, okay.
I know, but women have to something like that. And then everybody came at her. I mean, everybody came at her, including the cast of the films.
Right.
The actors.
Okay. So maybe that's what pushed her.
Oh, she was just mortified by the whole thing.
Right. I forgot about that. I didn't hear about it or something.
Anyway, but she's an example of success that's quite successful in the sense that she managed to maintain her style and write so many books in the same style, successfully. That's quite healthy in a way. But
I wonder if there's like an irony for success. There isn't a contradiction that the very thing that when you're not successful, you can be working towards success, knowingly or unknowingly. But then as soon as you get that, as soon as you achieve that, then it becomes the very thing that you then run away from. Ultimately.
Some people do. No, but she managed to write that way, very well. Some people do. And it's amazing that they do because it's consistency. To reproduce or similar, I think that's incredible. I can't do that. And so there's lots of artists that's successful and then they plummet because they can't reproduce what they produce. They try and do something different. Joker 2. He did something similar, but quite different. But in a certain way similar, but nobody got it, nobody liked it. Bombed, absolutely. Never bombed. But you have to breathe. Anyway, so what I'm interested in is before somebody's successful, it's the bit beforehand I think is interesting, and I think it's not to do with the person. It's usually people around them, and somehow or other, some people like it, some people put it forward, some people share it, draw attention to it, put money in, and then just a critical mass. Whoosh! But it's like, wait, did the person change anything? So, what we're doing is we're recording a thing, obviously, before it's successful. It's not successful. Who cares? What we're interested in is just doing the things that, I think is interesting. I think you're interested.
I am.
Yeah.
I had a very creative day today.
Right. So let's. So we'll finish up in 49 minutes. Yeah. So what else do we do today? What did you do?
I got writing with a pencil.
Writing with a pencil.
I want to elaborate. So it was to do with what we're doing over the next months ahead. So it's to do with ideas that I woke up with this morning and thinking about different aspects of that. So from working with people to building communities, to building relationships, to somehow potentially incorporating charity as an aspect of that as well. that was building on yesterday when I just reviewed all the ideas that I'd had and we'd had in terms of what we're doing going forward. So in terms of writing scripts and writing stories and writing plays and the podcast. So.
And so you're saying sometimes the writing kind of like got ahead of you, or just kind of.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of writing freely. I've done writing work or writing formally. But the only bit of free writing I've done in the last couple of years is poetry. That's very sporadic. It's kind of, now it's time, a bit of room, do poetry, breathe, and do it. And then that kind of does have a momentum. It takes a little while to get into. You need to write one, which is quite heavy, and then another one, like today, which is very light and comes very easily. It just seems to fall into place very naturally, and it's kind of beautiful. It just doesn't need anything done to it. So
Today?
Yeah.
You wrote a poem as well?
I've written two.
Today?
I've written a long one, and then I've written a shorter one.
Well, that's you. Get that under the skirt.
So I've had a little bit of experience with that, but today it was all prose, so it was very different for me. So from journaling to the ideas to what's the other thing I did? Something else as well. What was the writing? Anyway, basically, the writing kind of overtook my thought process, or the pencil just seemed to write for itself.
Yeah, I have that experience. I think when I write most of my stuff, it's like it's kind of just moving along at its own kind of pace. There's a flow to it.
Yeah, but it's quite quick. I find it's quite rapid and it's quite free flowing, and it's kind of, just comes out through much thought, much attention, much effort. Just
okay, gives you full attention. Right, all of your brain cells. Kind of had one. Okay, so yeah, I was using AI just a little bit to update a few stories. So I create stories and just push it through AI to see if it changes it, and it does quite a bit. It just comes up with an example of something like, okay, do more of that. Because I put in like a paragraph of prompt to try to find what I'd like to happen, and then it comes up with something. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, and then it's about modifying that until you get to the thing that you think, yeah, I like this. Anyway, you're going to be reading my version, the AI's version, and I won't tell you which was which, and you are going to, put your foot in it, right, royally, okay, right, royally, and
come on, AI, sorry. Come on, Claude. We love you, Claude.
And so that takes quite a lot of time. It took me a whole afternoon just to do like 2 stories. Because I've already written the content, so it's just modifying it. And then it takes another maybe evening or day or whatever, section, period, whatever, for you to be reading it and then deciding maybe, we like version B, and then improve bits, but I like this part level. Hey, let's pop it in there. Let's squeeze that in there. Let's transpose that.
And I'm about to start on my journey there, aren't I think.
You haven't.
And you said, it's about the precision. It's about sort of learning how it processes what you give it, but then being quite precise. And you're at times quite elaborate. You give quite a lot to get the results.
Yeah, and then you've got to get that result, and then you feed it into its knowledge base to inform its subsequent responses to things. So it gets quite. I can understand why people kind of feel they have to learn it, as opposed to I just go, well, it's obvious. It's obvious. It will get to the level where it's getting too complicated for me. But at this level, the first iterations of this, I'm like, well, yeah, whoever's creating this stuff, it's like, yeah, this makes entire amount of sense to me. This is like natural, and that's really good. But as soon as it becomes like 17 buttons around the screen, and there are various things I've got to switch on and off, and you've got to go through various menus, it's like, I start getting bored. It's already starting to say, do you want it concise? Do you want extended, normal style?
You like the options of more emphasis, though, you were saying earlier on. Like, some of the options it's giving you, like,
no.
Too many options.
No. It's not options like that. The actual, the It's like this.
Oh, the formats.
The format.
Oh,
Yes.
goodness.
And it's starting to give me
Wow.
choices, and I'm starting to go. I'm starting to get bored already, and that's only like 3 or 4. It's starting to introduce.
So it's starting to evolve already.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that means you have to make decisions about things that I'm like, I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in complicated. So when it starts getting complicated, I'm like, stop. Just give me the intelligent bloody machine, and I will engage with it. Okay.
I don't need the wrappings, as it were.
I don't think I need all the wrappings. You know, I have to make a choice. Is it concise, or is it normal, or is it, formal? Well, I could specify that in the start. I could say, like, I want a formal letter. Answer quickly. I put that within the prompt. Why would I want these different styles? I'm just like, it's just. Oh.
Perhaps you contact them and let them know.
Yeah. I want them to communicate across the different in Claude. I want them to communicate somehow or other across different chats within the same project. That would be helpful.
All they need for that whole presentational thing is just have a button, a big X, top right hand corner, and you can just switch all that on. So you can choose whether to have all those choices. And if you don't want the choices, off and you just carry on the job.
I know, but that means it has to have certain defaults.
Yeah. AI developers, so
I know. Yeah, I would have thought so. It's like,
thank you. It's the second amazing idea
Well, it's
I've
amazing,
had.
but-
Technological idea. Thank you.
if you looked at the original Macintosh, the whole idea about drop-down menus, keyboard, mouse and stuff, Windows, and that they got that from Xerox, we know, but putting it all together and making sure that it was all just elegantly designed Windows, would you say?
You do love it, don't you?
It's
elegance,
elegant, and it's self-supporting. It doesn't matter what level of depth, it doesn't matter what's happening. The logic to it is it's conformal. And so there's only a few things you need to learn. Once you learn that, you can maneuver around.
Oh, you like that too.
I love that.
And when that changes.
Oh, and then it starts getting into horrible land where everything starts getting.
When it changes and gets more kind of involved or complex, you're not happy.
Right. Anyway, that was a waffle. Have we got any products yet that we can share? Probably, actually, but still not there yet. And I was just thinking, actually, last night, that I need to set up a website, and I was thinking about, and I'll have to start doing, have to create a Substack. And I thought Substack is the right space for these stories because it has a paywall. I don't like paywalls, okay, but it's the current system we've got, and any of the money we get converted to credits, start sharing it. But basically, you have a free. So you put up your post, like you will be doing this maybe, but you put up the first story, okay, the first short story, or the first couple of sections, and they're free. And then the other ones,
to read on,
you pay. And so I would call it the ending, the last part of the.
If you want to find out what happens there.
Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, and so it's interesting. So this is interesting, and I just need to get just the one Substack, and I should be able to do different sections for the different stories. So it should just be the one link to that same Substack. So it should be nice and efficient.
Sounds straightforward.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All the
Sounds
stories.
like
Yeah, I think so. So I think I can set that up quite quickly. That means we can do something up publicly within, well, probably within a week, actually, if I really wanted to. Yeah.
There you go.
And then,
There first.
yeah, but I can do this because I've got so many of these stories. I've altered a few of them already. Yeah, 1 a week, I would have thought, for sure.
12 stories.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the Player's Ed, that's nearly done.
I was going to
A
say,
version of Player's Ed.
Yeah. And then we're looking for people to read these stories
Well, obviously, share it forward, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, of course, but that's that's the sleep fest because people are so bloody inert. Whereas, who do we share it with? I don't know. I'm still stuck with that. I don't know people that like what I do or are interested. And what I think we may have to do is send out a newsletter or something to
I
a whole
was
bunch of people,
thinking
and within
newsletter,
that,
yeah.
you have
I
here's some
think
short
so,
stories.
yes.
But also,
I was
any,
thinking that on the journey, actually. I forgot to tell you. Yeah.
so that's the people we already know. But otherwise, just put it out there. So I have to find some websites about writing and so on and so forth. So, all right, here's a link to my stuff. Traditional stuff until people realise use skill, okay, and share forward, please. That just takes the entire effort out of everything for all of us. I share forward things that I like that you produce, yeah, and you share forward things that I produce that you like. That's it.
Reciprocal.
It's reciprocal in that sense of equal, comparable, but I like to reserve reciprocal for the individual to the collective. And if you're meaning it that way, I guess, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, but as co-creators, and also, we make it very clear, and every single one at the bottom of it is very clear about sharing through scale, and it's about finding different authors, and I've put that in scale.me. Okay, and then there are other pages to do with how this works and different, explanations. But I don't think that's working, so I have to contain it all at the bottom of every single one of these posts, which is a little bit tedious for me, but for new and for readers that are used to it, they'll go, oh, I've got to that bit again, explaining it all. But I think that shouldn't be too hard.
Good. Look forward to it.
Yeah, very good. All right, that's good enough. Thank you very much for joining us. Whichever time period you are looking at this in relative past the future. And I think we've worked a bit. And I think if we get the transcript of this, which I don't think is possible for this, it'll be useful because then we could put in the timestamps of the things that are actually interesting.
Let's track them up.
Yeah, but
Beneficial.
if we've recorded it, then had to upload it, and then all the time, the transcript, everything takes forever. So, what we could have done was actually possibly we could have opened that could have recorded. Okay, there we go. I'll check see if I can add TLDR, whatever it is. All right, I'm good.
Julie, say goodbye. See you next time. David, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes,